Alright guys, what is going on? It's Adam and I am back with another video. Now in this video, it's going to be my top 5 tips and tricks for winning basically all your games. Like, with these tips and tricks, if you master them, you are not losing any games. Drop any left and right. So basically, my first tip for you all is your settings. And I'm going to start off with the sensitivity. You got to know your sensitivity for your device, basically, or like how you play. I play on an iPhone XR, 4-finger claw, stuff like that, but my sensitivity is probably higher than someone else's you would see on an iPad or something, because my screen is smaller compared to an iPad, so I would have to swipe more to be like, I have a limited amount of space to swipe, so that's why my sensitivity is higher. So if I were to swipe a little bit, it would go pretty far. Like, my screen would rotate pretty far, which is useful in case I need to turn quickly to kill someone, or I need to slide and turn, stuff like that. Same thing with my firing sensitivity. People in higher ranks aren't just going to stand still and just shoot you the entire time that you're in a gunfight. They're actually going to jump around, drop shot, move left to right. 9 times out of 10 they don't stand still unless your positioning is good and you get behind them or something like that. Which is why if someone were to slide to get close to me, I could just laser them with my red dot right on them, since my firing sensitivity is higher. And that's simply because I play on a phone too. I feel like that's because I play on a phone too, that I don't have as much, like, I'm limited with space since I play on a phone, which is why I have a higher sensitivity. So basically, for sensitivity, you just need to use it based on the device you're using and how you want to play the game. And rotation mode is fixed speed, and then the sensitivity presets is custom. Definitely use fixed speed for the sensitivity. Definitely use that. And then for your custom layout, HUD, HUD, display, whatever you want to call it, alright? I play a 4-finger claw on a phone because it's the most efficient way to be able to move and stuff, so you could dodge bullets and win gunfights, basically. And I find it like the most, okay, maybe not the most comfortable. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is not the most comfortable way to play, but it's definitely the best way to play on a phone. And I have my opacity lower than, like, what is it, 10% right now, so I could have a good peripheral vision of my screen, basically, just in case the enemy is sneaking up to the side of me, like behind me, like that. And that's why I have my sensitivity high, so if that were the case, I could just turn quickly and kill them. So basically, for this, you want to have it so basically it supports your mobile screen, because an iPad player's layout is not going to look like mine. There's no way it would look like mine, because they have a huge screen and stuff like that. My screen is very limited, so I have to play a 4-finger claw. And if you play like just the 2 thumbs, then I guess that works, but it's definitely not the most efficient, because you're not going to be able to like jump shot and then drop shot. I mean, you might be able to if you're really skilled at like quickly aiming and then pressing like the jump or drop shot button, but it's not as efficient as a 3-finger or 4-finger claw. And if you play a 3-finger claw, I would get really used to playing a 3-finger claw and then jump up to a 4-finger claw, because 4-finger claw is the most efficient way to win gunfights and stuff like that. It's really gonna help you with the next tips I'm about to explain in this video. So that's basically your settings, alright guys, so now we're going to be moving on to tip number 2, which is going to be the jump shot and drop shot. Now, if you're in a gunfight on a 1v1, if you both are standing still shooting at each other, it's really anybody's game based on the stats of your gun, really, and who misses like by 1 bullet or something. So that's why there's such things as the jump shot and drop shot. So basically, the jump shot is when you're jumping around, just like jumping crazy and just like aiming at your enemy, destroying them. And then the drop shot's when you go in the prone and then laser your enemy. So I'm going to demonstrate a jump shot on my boy over here really quick. So basically, you jump and then you just jump around, and I'm going to show you what that looks like on his screen, because based off my screen it looks like I barely did anything, but if you look at the other player's screen, you can clearly see that the jump shot is really effective for winning gunfights. So this is going to be what the drop shot is. It's basically when you just go in the prone, laser your enemy, and then, you know, get up and run. It's not as good as the jump shot in my opinion, simply because like you're proned on the ground. I mean, you can't really move anywhere else. So if you screw it up, or like your enemy just like slides to the side of you, you're basically dead. There's no way you're winning that. So I'm gonna show you guys a tip for the drop shot, which is if you were to run and slide, if you were to run and like press the crouch, you'd immediately slide instead of going in the prone. So what you do is you start firing and then you hold it down, and you'd actually end up doing a drop shot. So make sure you fire before you hold it down, or otherwise you'll just go into a slide. But if you fire and then hold it down, you go into a drop shot easily, and that's the most effective way to land your drop shots. So basically I'm going to do a drop shot on him really quick just to demonstrate, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on his screen. There you go. I'm going to show you guys the clip on his screen so you can see how effective it really is in a 1v1 gunfight. So that's basically how the drop shot and the jump shot work. If you want to win any 1v1 gunfights, that's definitely the way to go. And that's not including head glitches, positioning, UAVs, any of that. That's just a 1v1 fair gunfight with somebody. This is especially good in search and destroy, domination. Like game modes like those are really when it's effective, because search and destroy is like the king of 1v1s. Like search and destroy for like pro tier and elite rank, I mean, you don't really use cover and stuff for getting kills and stuff. You just go out there and start, you know, trying to laser people with drop shots and jump shots, 1v1s. Alright guys, so now we're gonna go into tip number 3, which is gonna be the pre-aim, the pre-fire, and head glitches, and checking corners and stuff efficiently. So basically a head glitch is when only your head is poking above an obstacle or something, hence the name head glitch. And pre-aiming would be if you think someone's gonna come around a corner or something, you could pre-aim right here. See, I would have been pre-aiming him right there, and that would have been an easy kill because I would have already had my red dot on him, and he wouldn't have been aiming me yet, so I would have had the first shot and hopefully got that kill if they didn't laser me. Next off, we have pre-fire. So if you were to come around that corner, I could start pre-firing like this, and that's an easy kill right there. It's especially efficient if you have a UAV, so you already know where the enemy is at, so you could just like slide around a corner and pre-fire them. And there's also efficient ways of checking corners, which is jumping around corners or sliding around corners just to check it, and then immediately scoping, a pre-scope basically. And that's the most efficient way to check corners, so it's basically it's really anybody's kill. If they're expecting you or not, it's gonna be probably your kill. That's basically all there is to know about head glitches, pre-fire, and pre-aiming. And if you use those efficiently, you're gonna win most of your gunfights and probably get nukes on the daily. Alright guys, so now we're gonna go on to tip number 4, and that's gonna be positioning. Now there's a lot of things that, you know, can go, well, be positioning, I guess you can say. But I want to go against the main things about positioning, and that's going to be UAVs. If you get a UAV, you can know where the enemy is at. It's probably the best score streak in the game. So if you have a UAV, you could easily pre-fire, pre-aim enemies, easy kills. However, if the enemy is carrying Ghost, you need to be able to listen for other things for positioning, and that's going to be footsteps, jumping, and maybe they have dead silence too. Maybe they have dead silence too. That's going to be a pretty cancerous perk setup, but maybe they have dead silence, so you're going to have to listen for sliding, because dead silence does not block the sound of sliding. So with that being said, make sure to listen for any audio noises from enemies, because then you have a general idea of where their location is, or whether they're near you or not, based off if you can hear footsteps or whatever or not. Second up in positioning, we have our team. So if our entire team was to be pushing the enemy spawn, then it's safe that you could go there. You could go with the team because you're gonna be pretty much safe. You could just like pick off some easy kills. However, if your entire team is behind you and stuff, like all the way behind you at their spawn, and you're like, you know what, I think I'm gonna push the enemy spawn by myself just because, I mean, maybe you could like 1v5 an entire team, but most likely you're gonna die on their spawn because you're not gonna have any backup, or you're just gonna be surrounded by enemies. Basically, it's gonna be hard for you to win that 1v5. So always look at your teammates' position. If your teammates are like no gunfire or anything on, let's say you're on the opposite side of the map, no gunfire or anything from your teammates on the other side of the map, it's safe to say that the enemies are going to be coming on your side of the map, so you should be ready for that. Now spawns are another major thing inside positioning, and the reason why is because if you know the enemy's spawn, you're going to have a general idea of where they're going to be coming from, so you're going to be able to easily pick off enemies just because you know where their spawn is. Like on standoff here, the enemy spawn usually right there or on the complete opposite side of the map by that house. And if you know this, you can easily pick off enemies because their spawns are like all over here on this side of the map. And especially if you have a UAV. If you have a UAV, you could easily dominate an enemy team easily, unless they have like ghosts or something like that, which is pretty cancerous, but I mean, to each their own, right? And that's gonna be all for positioning, really. There's not really much else to say about positioning other than do not run around the middle of the map. I mean, that's a given though. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you run down the middle of the map, you're just asking for death, alright? And that's basically all there is to positioning. Just know your surroundings and things like that, and you should be good on positioning. Alright guys, so the fifth and final tip I have for you all is going to be, do not get tilted, alright? I know rank could be a little stressful. I mean, if you get killed by some BS, I mean, you're probably gonna get a little tilted. I mean, I get a little tilted sometimes, not gonna lie, and then when I do, I just start like dying way easier. Like I like start making lots of mistakes. Basically, I'm not focusing on all the tips I just gave you, like jump and drop shot, positioning, pre-aiming, pre-firing, head glitches. I'm just not focusing on any of it because I got my mindset on like, that guy just killed me, I need to get revenge on him, I'm gonna kill that guy, hands down. And then I end up dying by him or like his teammate or something like that. So really you need to keep a focused mindset. And sorry, I'm eating a candy cane right now, so you know it's a little hard to talk, but it's good. Alright guys, so sorry about that. Basically, now that I finished my candy cane, alright, do not get tilted, and if you do, take a break from the game because you're just going to carry your team to Rookie 1. And with all that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.